Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 was an international passenger flight operated by Malaysia Airlines that disappeared from radar on the 8th of March 2014. While flying from Kuala Lumpur International Airport in Malaysia to its planned destination, Beijing Capital International Airport in China, the cause of its disappearance has not been determined. It is widely regarded as the greatest mystery in aviation history, and remains the single deadliest case of aircraft disappearance. The aircraft was carrying 12 Malaysian crew members and 227 passengers from 14 different nations. The pilot in command was 52-year-old Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah. He joined Malaysia Airlines as a cadet pilot in 1981. The co-pilot was 26-year-old First Officer Fariq Abdul Hamid. He joined Malaysia Airlines as a cadet pilot in 2007. Of the 227 passengers, 0.153 were Chinese citizens, including a group of 19 artists, with 6 family members. And for staff returning from a calligraphy exhibition in Kuala Lumpur, 38 passengers were Malaysian. The remaining passengers were from 12 different countries. Flight 370 was a scheduled flight in the early morning of Saturday, the 8th of March 2014, from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, to Beijing, China. It was one of 2 daily flights operated by Malaysia Airlines from its hub at Kuala Lumpur to Beijing International Airport. The planned flight duration was 5 hours and 34 minutes. At 12:41 a.m., Flight 370 took off from runway and was cleared by air traffic control to climb to flight level of 18,000 feet. Shortly after departure, the flight was transferred from the airport ATC to Lumpur Radar Air Traffic Control. At 1:08 a.m., Flight 370's pilots reported to Lumpur Radar that they had reached the altitude of 35,000 feet. The aircraft's final transmission, before its disappearance from radar, was an automated position report, sent using the Aircraft Communications Addressing and Reporting System. The last verbal signal to air traffic control was at 1:19 a.m., when Captain Zahari acknowledged they are about to enter in Vietnam airspace. The crew was expected to signal ATC in Ho Chi Minh City as the aircraft passed into Vietnamese airspace. The captain of another aircraft attempted to contact the crew of Flight 370 shortly after 1:30 a.m. using the International Air Distress Frequency. The captain said he was able to establish communication, but heard only mumbling. Flight 370 disappeared from the radar screen at Kuala Lumpur and was lost at about the same time on radar at Ho Chi Minh City, which reported that the aircraft was at the nearby waypoint. Air traffic control uses secondary radar, which relies on a signal emitted by a transponder on each aircraft. The final transponder data indicated the aircraft was flying at its assigned cruise altitude of 35,000 feet and was traveling at 872 kilometers per hour. At that time, the transponder stopped functioning. The Malaysian military's primary radar showed Flight 370 turning right, but then beginning a left turn to a southwest direction. At 1:52 a.m., Flight 370 was detected, passing just south of the island of Penang. From there, the aircraft flew across the Strait of Malacca. Thailand and Vietnam also detected Flight 370 on radar before the transponder stopped working. The radar position symbols for the transponder code used by Flight 370 vanished after that transponder is thought to have been turned off. The watch supervisor at Kuala Lumpur ACC activated the Kuala Lumpur Aeronautical Rescue Coordination Center at 5:30 a.m. more than 4 hours after communication was lost with Flight 370. Malaysia Airlines issued a media statement at 7:24 a.m. on the 8th of March, 1 hour after the scheduled arrival time of the flight at Beijing, stating that communication with the flight had been lost by Malaysian ATC at 2:40 a.m. The government had initiated search and rescue operations. Flight 370 was still airborne at the time of this initial media statement, and search and rescue operations were commenced while the plane was still in flight over the Indian Ocean. On the 24th of March, Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak appeared on media to give a statement regarding Flight 370, during which he announced he had been briefed by the Air Accidents Investigation that had concluded the airline last position before it disappeared in the southern Indian Ocean. As no places exist where it could have landed, the aircraft must therefore have crashed into the Indian Ocean. On the 29th of January 2015, the Director General of Civil Aviation Malaysia, Azharuddin Rahman, announced the status of Flight 370 would be changed to an accident, and all passengers and crew are presumed to have lost their lives.
Subscribe to Storyscape for more videos.